I've always had amazing ideas or visions to follow through, or even just desires. And desires that are pretty common, like having a good body, looking a certain way, and everything, right? And the thing is, I struggle a lot with it. And the reason is because I struggled a lot maintaining discipline. And for a while, I let it be. Like initially, बहुत up down हुआ है मेरा weight. I have my weight fluctuations is it's not like a 2 kg weight fluctuation. मैं 10-15 किलो का weight fluctuation की बात कर रही हूँ. Every year, every 2 years on an average के हिसाब से. So growing up, so the thing is key that shows up in all other aspects, right? But one of the aspects that has been the most difficult, and also the most rewarding, I guess, in that sense, is weight. So this video is about that, not about what you need to do, what you don't need to do. There are enough content out there, and I am not a trainer in any stretch of the imagination, so I'm not even going to try to give that advice. However, what I am going to talk about is the struggle I had with discipline. So the thing is, I know discipline is necessary because unfortunately, life experience has taught me that without discipline, progress is very, very difficult. You can do things sporadically with motivation and it will make you feel good once or twice. But in a long period of time, you need discipline and consistency. But the definition of that was very screwed up for me initially. Because what I envisioned was discipline means कि हर दिन same amount of काम तुम किए जा रहे हो consistently. And I couldn't uphold that. Even after doing something for, so I think कहीं पे कुछ तो भी है, I don't know how correctly I'm speaking it, but they said like in a particular number of days अगर तुम कोई चीज़ consistently करोगे, say you wake up at 5, it will become a habit. And people around me were able to do it. Somehow it never stuck with me. Even after doing something for months, I can forget it. I can, like, suddenly it will, for me, it would be like starting from day one again. And it used to baffle me a lot. And initially, growing up, I was a very active kid. So, Bharatanatyam, athleticism, so all these things kept me fit. But after class 10th, when I left these, I became a little more sedimentary in my lifestyle, a lot more stress and all that thing. The reasons are pretty common. There's nothing unique in that story. So that happened. And our society is very brutal about body shaming. And just disclaimer, I will be using, I'm not going to be politically correct because these words stick with me. As much as I want to not say those things to myself, I want to change how they affect me, these words that people use, because it's very triggering. But instead of kind of them having that effect on me, I want to kind of just, stop them having that effect on me. And I don't think changing the words at the moment, maybe sometime later I'll feel differently, but I don't think changing the words will help me at the moment. I want to stick to those words and change the meaning of them for me. So whenever I had a very big weight change. I was quite lean after class 10th, and then 12th तक आते I think I didn't take my weight check then, but my guess would be 85 या उसके around कहीं पे होगी. If you see my graduation pictures and stuff, that's how I used to look back then. And then the issue was not that I gained weight. The issue was that everybody started commenting on it. Suddenly it was a big issue. This last time I wasn't getting much attention from even my parents. They were very busy in their lives. So suddenly 12th तक आते सबको यही सब होने लगा. And then 12th someone told my mother कि इतना weight randomly बढ़ रहा है, थोड़ा देख लो, because it did kind of suddenly shoot up. But there were reasons. Anywho, we got to know that I have thyroid. So then my mother kind of made a big deal about it. Thyroid, oh my God, इससे ये होता, वो कर लो. And for a good amount of time, for a few years, I was stuck in that kind of victim mentality. And college mein, second year college mein, I think I suddenly had a phase of 2 years. I don't know if I can even call it a phase if it went on for 2 years. But I lived in a lot of anxiety, which led me to shed like 15 kilos of weight. And I was very thin, again, college में. And suddenly everybody was like, "Arey, patli ho gayi." They were giving a lot of compliments. Nobody was seeing it as a bad thing. Like, 2 हफ्ते में, 3 हफ्ते में, महीने भर में इस बंदी ने 15 किलो lose कर लिए. There could be something wrong with her. Nobody kind of focused on that. And I was too afraid, too silent to say anything about it. I didn't know what to do, what not to do. So I internalized it as obviously. And then I think 2017 by 2017 I kind of started believing that this is who I am. I associated my identity with the size of my body and started hating it. I think the hate started way before that, but at least now I can trace it back to that time perhaps. And I started believing this is who I am, koi farak nahi padta, ye wo. And look, I am not saying ki farak padta. If you feel comfortable in that identity, if you feel like yourself in that identity, power to you. But I didn't feel like myself being overweight. It's the same thing as I don't feel like myself in long hair. There's nothing wrong with long hair. There's nothing wrong with being overweight as long as you feel that it's you. That's it. That's all that matters. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't. If you want to misunderstand me, that's all. You're not on me. So the thing is, I didn't feel like myself because I have observed that pattern in me whenever I am overweight. Maybe it is the conditioning, maybe it's how the outside world perceives me. But then I have let go of what people think of me in all the other sectors. So either this is totally internalized, very internalized, that I'm not able to get rid of it, or there's some truth to it because I genuinely don't feel like myself right now. I started my journey from 91 kilos. Right now I'm 81. So I've lost like 10 kgs in span of 2 months. And just by the act of starting to exercise and overall taking care of myself has made me feel better, which is a multi-layered thing, and I'll come to that later in the video. But that was the challenge growing up, like 2017 when I lost weight again. This time around, I didn't do it on my own. It was my cousin brother who kind of took up the I'll do it. You want to just follow through, and I did. He did it because he saw that I started believing that this is my identity. He just wanted to prove to me that you can do this as well, and now you pick what you want to be. That was that. But that weight I think I retained for like a year, 70 kilo I was. And then again, after a year or 2 years, I think I went back to overweight. Then again in 2021, second lockdown, third lockdown के time I think, I had another motivation. Like I actually asked my cousin brother, again the same brother, to kind of give me some kind of ultimatum because I need some kind of ultimatum to work. That's my motivation. I can't otherwise bring myself to go to the gym. He gave me an ultimatum. He's my favorite person on the earth. He said, till you come to your goal weight, which was 70. I put it at 68. I think I put it at 68 or 70, something like that. He said, we will not do any kind of deep conversation. We'll check on each other and stuff, but no deep conversation, nothing about life, which is the best part of that relationship. So that was a good motivation for me. This time around, I did it myself. There was discipline in me, consistency in me. And because I put in the effort from my end, I realized something about discipline. That illusion or misinformation or misconception, misunderstanding, whatever I had about discipline looking exactly the same every day dissipated for me. I understood that discipline and consistency is just about doing some bit of it every day. किस ए दिन में तुम 100% दे सकते हो, तुम 100% दो. Second day में तुम 10% दे सकते हो, तुम 10% दो. But if you keep doing little, by the end, in a bigger timeline, that overall consistency will accumulate to progress. And that's what I understood. The thing is, I have ADHD. It's very recent, and that has given me new perspective to my inability to to, make a habit. So what that did to me initially was fuck. Because my initial, again, there were a lot of misinformation around it, or just misunderstanding. Ki fuck, ab ye hai, ab ek naya problem, ab main kya karu, right? But I think what changed, what was my pivoting moment, was three words, three emotions, three things, was accept, embrace, and just decide. So I accepted. First thing I did, I accepted, because for me discipline से बहुत बड़ा जोर ADHD का है, right? जहाँ पे मतलब तुम habits form ही नहीं कर सकते हो, at least not in the way that other people can. So it's a different kind of problem. Actually, it's not a problem. It's just a different way of thinking, perhaps. It's a different way that the mind works. So first was acceptance for me, because इस कहानी का बहुत बड़ा part है ये. There's a reason why. It's not like I'm incapable of exercising. It's not like incapable of knowing what works for my body, what doesn't. I have done it multiple times. So I definitely know what works for my body, what doesn't. थोड़ा बहुत tweak आगे पीछे मैं कर सकती हूँ. I am mature enough, intelligent enough, and smart enough, and I can ask for help. So there is no shortage of capacity here. The shortage is actually of forming habits. But once I accepted that this is what it is, first things to accept करने के साथ I stopped making this ADHD side of me as an enemy. Now we are allies. And the second part is embrace. Embracing for me is not just, कि हाँ ठीक है हम एक side पे हैं, actually working together. So if I know that in my ADHD I'll have high days and then low days, and I know that consistency doesn't have to look the same. So जब मैं high feel करती हूँ, I'll put in more effort, and जब मैं low feel करती हूँ तो मैं effort थोड़ा कम accordingly adjust कर दूँगी. So मेरा consistency का consistency भी है, और मेरे ADHD का ADHD भी. We are working together to make this work, right? Because this time around, with the acceptance and embracing of who I am, I've also decided that it doesn't matter how many times I have to start from scratch. I really care about my health. I really want to be in good health, in optimum health all through the life. And for me, I care about how I look, how I feel about myself. This is not about how I look to other people. This is about how I look at myself when I'm looking at the mirror. And I don't have to be like 55 or 65. I think my goal is to look a certain way, and I feel the best about myself. I feel the most confident. And then the responsibility falls on my shoulder to kind of make that a reality. And I know I can. There's nothing stopping me from doing that except my own mind. So even if I cannot say, because I only have experience of my mind, but चलो मैं मान लेती हूँ लोगों का, and ये ज़्यादा difficult है. I don't care. I will keep doing this because this is worth it for me. मुझे बार बार scratch से करना पड़ेगा, scratch से करूँगी. That's the decision. That's what basically discipline in anything that you do means. It means that you are willing to try multiple times, even if it fails. You're willing to try new things ताकि तुम्हें पता चले तुम ये कर सकते हो, ये कर सकते हो, ये कर सकते हो. Eventually, कभी ना कभी, you don't quit. कभी ना कभी तुम्हें समझ में आ जाएगा. जब समझ में आ जाएगा सब चीज़ इतना easy हो जाएगा. Because 2 हफ्ते में 10 किलो कम करना छोटी बात नहीं है. और ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं करना पड़ा मुझे इस बात. ऑनेस्टली मैंने जस्ट डिसाइड किया, समहाउ मेरा काम चल रहा है. अभी मैं लो फेज से चल रही हूँ 2 हफ्ते से, बट अभी भी मैं जिम जाती हूँ. मेरा प्रोग्रेस अभी भी इंटैक्ट है, बिकॉज मैंने ADHD का ही सिंगल माइंडेड हाइपर फोकस अपने एडवांटेज के लिए यूज़ किया है. That's what you need to do. You need to understand yourself, how your mind works, instead of working against it, instead of trying to suppress it, instead of trying to control it. You work with it and find out your solution and do the things. It needs trial and error, but it's just a decision away. Accept, embrace, and then decide.